Well, good afternoon, folks. This is vk3sl. Welcome to our test program on 160 and on UHF. Sorry, UHF, as you didn't get the full Zelenka. We started a little late with you, but all systems seem to be up and running. But
Good afternoon.
hello to you, Frank. How's it going?
Going well, having a pretty laid-back sort of day.
Oh, that's excellent. I have done the same. I can hear your phone ringing in the background there.
Yes, hold on.
Okay, we'll let you do that. Yes, we've been listening to the music of Zelenka. This was forwarded to me by Mr. Fleming, who's listened to this ad nauseum. I think it is delightful. It is an oblique nod to the Italian Baroque, but it is actually German Baroque or Czech Baroque. However you look at these things, Mr. Zelenka was incumbent in Dresden in the early years of the 18th century. He wrote sublime music, and we've done a few programs dedicated to his music. This is Sinfonia Concertata, written for solo violin and viola, and an emancipated string orchestra. Don't you love those magnificent cascading suspensions? You can hear them now. More suspensions. Here they are. It's such delightful music, and it's music that sort of surfaced quite recently, because much of Zelenka's music was sort of lost to common knowledge until really this century, and it was all sealed in a steel vault at the bottom of the Japanese Palace in Dresden. And if you look online, you'll see that the Japanese Palace was one of the great Baroque buildings in Dresden, and it was totally levelled during the bombing of Dresden during the Second World War. And the reason this music survives is that in a flooded basement, it was sealed up in a big steel cabinet. So much of Zelenka's music does survive. It's badly water damaged, but it was there for musicologists to just rediscover after the war. Sadly, Albinoni's music was held in the same library, the Saxon Library, and it was all destroyed. So sad tale there. But the Japanese palace was completely rebuilt. They had the plans and they had the foundations, of course, but the upper part of the building was completely gutted and basically levelled. And it's an amazing feat that Dresden, or parts of Dresden, were rebuilt to original specs. And this music comes out of the ashes, so to speak. Isn't it wonderful? I'll play a bit more. we go, another movement from the Symphonie Concertante for violin, oboe and orchestra by Mr. Zelenka. That's KZWV 189.
Great stuff, isn't it?
Isn't it just wonderful? It's so alluring. It's so fresh and so positive and out there and sort of quirky. All those little gear changes, harmonic turns which you don't expect, and all the time.
It's full of innovation, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so, Frank. I really think so. It's highly innovative music, and it always has an oblique nod to the Italian Baroque, or in this case, Rococo, really. And yes, with some of that, especially the episodal passages in the first movement.
I mean, that's one of the criticisms that sometimes later gets about Baroque, that it's too formulaic.
Oh,
it's anything but formulaic.
Anything but, yeah. It's far more interesting than, I mean, I love Vivaldi's music, but I find this very engaging. I often listen to it walking to work. But I thank Mr. Fleming for bringing this one up. I have listened to it a couple of times, but it's now very much in the fore, and it was it's a fascinating work. It's interesting that online they put up the autograph scores as
wow.
Yeah, so we see his writing. It's quite messy, this one. Lots of sort of congested bars and squiggles, and it would have taken a musicologist quite some time to decipher that, I would have thought. But anyhow, there we have it. The music of Zelenka, which is sort of still in progress. We're still discovering new works, so it's a case of watch this space. Yeah, so
I wonder if much of it got lost.
They think most of what survives happens to be from the year 1723.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, he sort of had a very prolific year. I think he went to Prague, and I think he was looking for other job opportunities, and he brought a swag of music. Some of it may have been composed before then, but it's dated to that time. And so that was a very sort of industrious time for Mr. Zelenka. They believe a lot of his music is lost, and but much of what was stored in the Saxon Library in Dresden did survive, simply because they sealed it up in steel cabinets and welded them closed, and they were found under subterranean underwater after the war.
Good heavens.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing, isn't it?
I remember you telling me about this.
Yeah, I mean, the Japanese palace.
They did a great job to try to revive it.
Yeah. So the Japanese palace, which was the Saxon State Library, it's one of the great Baroque buildings in the world. It was totally levelled during the Second World War. It was wiped off the face of the earth. It's just rubble. But beneath it, there were catacombs. And in the catacombs, they brought down all of the big collections of great composers and sealed them up in steel crates. And of course, after the bombing, everything flooded underground, because all the water mains were burst, and they found these steel crates underwater, and there had been some leakage which caused a significant loss. But and you can see on these autograph scores that they put up online, and I refer people to that if they're interested. Look up Zelenka, Zelenka, online, and you can see reference to these original scores. And you'll see a lot of them are water damaged, and they've been reconstructed. But
I first heard him, I don't know, about 20 years ago, and I was so impressed. I went and bought 3 CDs of him.
Fantastic! Yeah, it's great. Yeah, in the early 70s, I think he was effectively discovered at that time, and or rediscovered, and since then we've sort of been hearing more and more of his music. So it's a really good news story that his corpus does survive. Sadly, Albinoni's music was held in the same library, all 50 or so of his operas and a great deal of chamber music. And Vivaldi was Albinoni was just as gifted, the composer. But
certainly was.
Yeah, but unfortunately his music wasn't caged up and kept, and it was burnt in the fires.
It's dreadful.
So sad story about Albinoni. But Zelenka did get they got there in time for his collection, as they did with Haas and I think some of Bieber's music. And
Bieber is very interesting too.
Yes, he was one of Bach's teachers, I think, Mr. Bieber.
Was he really?
I think so. I think there's a connection there with JSB. Of course, JSB acknowledged Zelenka as a composer of inspiration.
Did he really?
Yeah, and I think we played one of, and so did Handel. And remember, there was a Handel aria which is very Ombre Marfu, the famous Handel aria from Samson. And, and it's almost identical to a work from Zelenka's written a few years earlier. So yes, it's a fascinating story.
I love that early period, that early 17th century period, or 18th century.
Yeah.
There's something very special about it.
Oh, there it is. It's so inventive and so full of wonderful, exciting counterpoint, and it's got a level of complexity that I find really involving.
And it was before the formula started to really settle in. It did, at times it was, a bit bogged down, wasn't it?
Yes, indeed. And in the classical period, shortly thereafter, they wanted to create a more a simpler form of music. I think people felt that the high Baroque was too complex and too inaccessible.
I've probably seen it today too.
Yeah, it was too dense, perhaps, and then we had the emergence of C.P. Bach and one of the sons of Bach,
and Christian, of course.
Yes, that's right, and Haydn, Mozart, and Boccherini, many others. And the classical era was far more about balance and simple textures, and quite a departure from this type of music. So, it's an interesting story. So, nice way to start today. Well, look, I'll do a fade on that, as much as I'd love to keep listening. And what we'll do is take our usual course. I've had a sort of a fairly relaxed day too, and I've just been mucking around with cartridges. I knew this weekend I wanted to sort of see if I could emancipate some of these old... Well, I actually got the ELAC going.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I had a thought about this, and because I had to make up two tiny little rubber membranes to balance the cantilever in, and it suddenly dawned on me that I had some old rotten mains wiring. Well, it's actually from an old hand telephone, and the wire, the coating on the wire is slightly rotten. So they now have rubber sort of goes brittle, or it sort of goes soft before it goes brittle. Right. It goes really soft, and you can sort of peel it off. I thought, exactly. So I was able to cut off a tiny little bit, and then with tweezers and magnifiers and things, insert that in and resuspend the cantilever.
Oh, that's amazing.
Well, it took ages.
You should have been a surgeon.
Well, no, not at all. Mind you, I did this in between doing some practice today. So, but look, anyhow, the inspiration was there after our chat yesterday, and I was able to get one of the ELAC carts working quite well. So we'll give it a burl. I've got it queued up, and I've been able to resuspend the thing, and we'll see if it works in the longer term, but seems to be okay at the moment.
Did you use any product?
No, I didn't use any product. I just had to cut this with tiny little tweezers and small little toenail scissors, and just sort of try and wrap around. It's sort of suspended in a tiny little tube, it needs it's hard to explain, but it just sort of it sort of nests itself, really.
It jams in.
It sort of jams in, but you've got to get the tension right, because if it's not exactly compliant on both sides or 360, it distorts, and it's still a tiny bit distorted, but it's not too bad. So I thought I'd kick off with a recording here using the ELAC cart, which we haven't used for quite a few years, and this is a recording of Ken Sisson and his band from the about 1927, and it's a bit of a 20s classic, and it's My Blue Heaven. So let's have a listen. I'm vk3sl.
And vk3jr.
A turn to the right, a little white light will lead you to my blue heaven. A smiling face, a fireplace, a cozy room, a little nest that's nestled where the roses bloom. My darling and me, and baby makes three. We're happy in my blue heaven.
Well, there we go. That's our 20s hit for the day. Rather scratched up old Brunswick there, using the new cart, which I'm keen to use this equipment as much as I can. I'd like to, it's good.
That sounded great.
Yeah, it did. Came across quite well.
My blue heaven.
Yeah, it's interesting hearing it sung by a woman, and I've always heard it. I wonder if it credits the vocalist. I don't think it does. I'll just reach across, get the record. So tell us who's singing. No, Ken Sisson and his orchestra with the vocal chorus. They don't credit
That's not very good. She was good.
Yeah, she was. Yeah,
You
it was
had
a bit
to
of fun.
say, well, my darling and me.
Yes,
Just Molly and me.
That's right. Molly didn't get a Guernsey.
No.
Yeah, they could have. She could have said Molly, and then it would have been one of those interesting records with a
that's
gender
right. A bit
non-specific.
of a trailblazer.
Yes, that's right. Never mind. Yes. All right. Well, look, let's. We've got a few things on the plate. Another cartridge. I also went through all my. I've got a handful of these Autophon Type A's from various broadcast stations which have landed here, and they sort of come and go, and they sometimes work and they sometimes don't. And I had a good look, and I pulled a couple apart and used a syringe and injected some rubbery new to give it another bit of a kick, and two of them came up really well. And in fact, the very best of them all is an old Type A with 3AK inscribed on the side of it, and so that was all good. But then suddenly it developed problems with hum, and I can't seem to reconcile that. So I'll have to discuss this with our hum experts.
Yeah.
If I can do, it's something to do with the point contacts where it plugs into the arm, but I wasn't able to sort it. I tried to clean everything and readjust it, but without success. But when it worked spectacularly, and you get a sense of how good these Autophon pickups were. I mean, they just really sound amazing.
I always had a problem with my Autophon with hum.
Did you?
And the only way I could do it was to find a magic spot for the transformer.
Ah, right.
Where
Yes.
everything seemed to phase everything else out.
Okay.
In terms of hum.
Yes.
And I got it down to a very, very low level.
Oh, that's good.
And then I had to just get some tape and stick it there.
Yeah. Fair enough.
But then I had to be careful not to move anything else.
Exactly. You've got to keep everything in position. I know it becomes an exercise in geometry.
Possible with a lot of effort.
Yeah.
And quite necessary, because it was always my favourite cartridge.
Yeah, look, they're beautiful. The MC cartridge, the Autophon magnetic cartridges. So these are they moving magnets? No, they're not.
Moving coils.
Moving coils. That's what they are.
That's why I had a transformer.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Well, these ones have got the transformer in the head shell.
Oh, yes, I've heard of that.
That's right. So they look like licorice blocks, and they're the sort of hallmark of the broadcast industry right through the 50s, 60s.
Yeah.
And the only problem was that people treated them roughly, and the styluses broke, and then they had to be sent to Denmark to be retipped, and very few people were able to do that. So it became very expensive for broadcast stations to use them, so they moved to Stanton and other more systems where you could replace the stylus. So these are a little bit scarce, but I came across a big box full of them at a sale a long time ago. It's about 20 of them here, and most of them don't work. Most most of them are completely ruined, but a handful do. And look, I've got one set up now, Autophon Type A from 1950 Mumble. This one's got PMG scribed on the side, so I presume it's XABC.
Yes.
So, and my test record for today is an old Radiola, AWA Radiola LP from the 50s. It's called A Palette of Many Colours.
Oh.
So, now what's on it? Here we go. I think it's Hans Arno Simon and his soloists with a quick foxtrot. So this would be very much the magic of microgroove era.
Very much very early 50s.
Early 50s, but I have to say, it sounds pretty good.
Quick foxtrot, there'd be a fine line between a quick foxtrot and a slow quick step.
Yes, slow quick step. I like it. Yeah. Well, this one, look, it sounds pretty specky, and but when I had it with the 3AK one earlier on, it just sounded unbelievable until the hum sort of started to get in the way. But I won't put the 3AK one on because I'll be juggling that problem. But I think we can. Whoops. I'll just get this cued. I haven't cued it up properly. I'm just going to drop the needle where I think it should be. It's track 2. There we go. Oops, bear with me. I'm going to have to get a bit closer to the source here. Track 2. There we go. I think we're in the groove. There we have it. That was Hans Arno Simon and his soloist. Isn't it wonderful? It sounds so good in here. The transients for the percussion, it just sounds palpably real.
See, that was a big thing that Autophon cartridges had, was this marvellous transient response.
Yes, indeed. It's just no smearing whatsoever. It's just in your face. It's fantastic.
Absolutely. It's live, you know.
Yeah, it is. It really has that live sense. I have not heard that from other cartridges.
No, I didn't. The other thing was distortion. I always got distortion. I had a V15E, a Shure V15E,
yeah, they're very
and
nice.
it was very good. But I could detect the distortion on either tracks on the vinyl.
Yeah.
And with the Autophon, sure it was there, but it was much reduced.
Yeah. I think the whole sort of design philosophy using a moving coil had different compliance characteristics and things which work to the
brilliant.
Best advantage. Yeah.
I broke a couple. I think I've told you it.
Yes.
It was terrible. Anyway,
well,
I still have dreams about it.
Yeah. Well, it's easy to do,
and of course you've got to replace the cartridge.
Well, you do, or you have to send it away to get re-tipped, and that's very expensive.
They give you another one.
Yeah.
But one thing I found helped with the transformer, with the hum on the transformer was winding it around and around, wrapping it around with aluminium foil.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yes.
You can't really do it with the head, I guess. But
no, you can't really, not while it's playing. But the head is very well insulated. It's got a little aluminium membrane, little sort of coaster thing it clips in, and protects it on three sides. And I mean, they're just beautifully designed. They're like watch. It's got Swiss.
Marvelous Danish, I think. Isn't
yes, that's right.
Design.
Danish company. Even now, they still get ridiculous. They sell for crazy money.
I've got a couple of cartridges that I didn't ever get tipped.
Right.
Just for history, you know.
Yeah, fair enough. Yes, it's they're a great little artifact. I don't use them that often for mainstream missions, but the problem is the rubbers harden, and then every so often if I loosen them, they'll work really well, and then they'll harden up again.
Yeah, that's right.
And to get them to redo the rubbers would be a very exacting process. I wouldn't have the tools to do that. It's tiny. It's minuscule. It's smaller than a watch, and you've got to get the tensions right. It's interesting. An ABC engineer who's now no longer with us told me that. The stories with these are that apparently there was someone who was able to do it, and they used to send the junior techs down to the chemist to get a packet of condoms so they could use the latex.
Get the latex.
Use the latex and restring it up. So it was a rather bit of a process of initiation.
And no doubt to the embarrassment of the junior.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Rite of passage, I would have thought.
Totally.
To coin a phrase.
Perhaps he took the opportunity to buy some extra ones.
I expect so. Yes.
I
hope so. I sincerely hope so. Look, we'll flip the disc while we're sort of on this topic, and side B of this test record called A Palette of Many Colours. It's sort of just there to show how good Radiola, Telefunken, AWA were.
I just need to say that David has paid us a visit.
Oh, okay, sure.
And we're going to have takeaway.
Okay.
But it'll take a while for that to get here.
Okay, sure.
I'm just going to order it now.
Yeah, you do that.
And it'll be half an hour or so. But
Okay.
I'll need to wind early.
Okay, that's no problem at all. We'll see that and
just work around it.
Yeah, we'll work around that for sure. All right. Well,
I'll have to also duck out for 5 minutes.
Yes.
To order this.
Yes. Well, while you're doing that, I'll play this track
yes,
on
please. I'll have it going in the background.
Okay, no worries at all. And from this record, this Radiola Telefunken 10-inch LP from 1950 mumble, early 50s I would have thought. On side B, there's one called Rumba Potpourri, Telefunken Dance Orchestra. So it's a bit scratched up, but we'll give this Autophon cart another burl, and we'll do another needle drop. And I'm not cueing this properly at all, but I'm hoping I've got it more or less in ballpark, have I? Not really. Not ideally set up in terms of ergonomics in this space, but a real studio, that would all be straightforward. I think we're on board. vk3sl testing. Telefunken Dance Orchestra, showing how good their Neumann U47s were. Remarkable. Beautifully captured performance from the early 50s, and a test record and test missions, of course. We are testing antique equipment actually today. We're using an old Autophon Type A cartridge, an ex-ABC cartridge, I think this one is, going back to the 1950s. Got quite a few here, only a handful work, but they're good fun to play around with, and every so often I give them a bit of a run. What I might do is find another track from that same album. There is more of Hans Arno Simon and his cocktail piano and rhythm, and on the same disc. So what I can do is present a mono needle drop on track 2. So not quite sure if we're in the zone. They're not that easy to cue unless you're right over the record, but we may.
That was how I broke my cartridges.
Oh, really? Yes. Helps have a long tone arm. That makes a big... These are very long tone arms. They're 16-inch tone arms. And looks like that track's just finished and the other one's ready to start. Okay, here we go. The Cocktail Ensemble. There we go. That was the end of the track before. Now we're ready to go. And I should mention, this is vk3sl.
And vk3jr.
Brilliant stuff there, and that was Hans Arno Simon and his cocktail piano with the Rhythm Group.
Sounding so clean.
Yeah, they do. There's a tiny bit of distortion in some of the upper, in some of the mid-range, but I think there is somewhere on the stylus. But
I can't really pick
yeah, but it wouldn't be discernible on here. But the bass is just to die for. It's incredible, so clean and incisive.
Yeah.
It's really good. So love listening to these early mono LPs, 10-inch LPs. They're fun. I've got another one here of Eartha Kitt's music. Now, a topic of late, and and I've had some correspondence with Mr. Fleming, who's mentioned that he's been looking for that particular recording we're talking about yesterday.
Yes, early.
What was it? Nobody Taught Me.
That's the one.
Yes, and he's found reference to that first recording, but we can't find the actual disc itself. It doesn't seem to be in the public domain at this point.
Well, the ABC's got it.
Yes, they've got it. They've got a secret stash, I reckon, of Eartha Kitt. Yeah.
It is amazing because it sounds so different.
Yeah, I'd love to hear it. We'll find it. Well, one way or another, we'll find it.
I'd love you to hear it because she's barely detectable as Eartha Kitt.
Wow, that'd be most interesting to hear.
Just sounds like an ordinary young girl, but every now and then there's a nuance that you say, hey, and that was what led me to keep listening to it.
Okay, sounds great. Yeah. Well, I've got several Eartha Kitt records here. Here's one from the early 60s, late 50s maybe. It's called That Bad Eartha. Is the name of the RCA 10-inch LP.
It's a good title.
Yes, it is. And recordings with Eartha Kitt with orchestra conducted by Henry Reen. And it's got some of her iconic performances on this. It's a bit dusty, this record. I might have to give it a clean. But we'll use the same cartridge setup. And Under the Bridges of Paris, I think, would be a really good way to start.
Lovely.
I love this song. She just
beautiful.
sings it with such charm. So here we go, In the Groove. Eartha Kitt, take it away.
Sous les ponts de Paris, lorsque descend la nuit, toutes sortes de gueux se foulevillent en cachette et sont heureux de trouver une cochette, hôtel du Curandeur, où l'on ne paye pas cher. Le peu fin et l'eau, c'est pour rien, mon marquis, sous les ponts de Paris, sur les ponts de Paris. Quel rendez-vous! My darling, why I sing this song is easy to explain. It tells what happens all along the bridges of the Seine. The vagabonds go there at night to sleep all their troubles away. But when the moon is shining bright, my heart wants to sing it this way. How would you like to be down by the Seine with me? Oh, what I'd give for a moment or two under the bridges of Paris with you. Darling, I'd hold you tight, far from the eyes of night. Under the bridges of Paris with you, I'd make your dreams come true. Chérie, je vous apporte mes bras. Je vous apporte mon cœur. Je vous apporte all my love. Sur les ponts de Paris, lorsque descend la nuit, under the bridges of Paris with you, I'd make your dreams come true. I'd make your dreams come true.
Be my guest, Eartha Kitt. Oh, that was amazing. Oh, she just has it, doesn't she? She's got that magic.
French language is pretty intimate.
It is.
Anyway.
It is. It's
and
the front of the mouth.
It sound 4 times more intimate.
It does. Yes. Pillow Talk from... Oh, here we go. Next track has to be played.
Even educated fleas do it. Let's do it. Let's fall in love. In Spain, the best
The best version, I think, Frank.
upper
Absolutely.
sets do it.
Cole Porter would have proved.
Lithuanians, and let's do
Definitely.
it. Let's do it. Let's fall in love. The Dutch in old Amsterdam do it. Not to mention the Finns. Folks in Siam do it. Think of Siamese twins, some Argentines without means do it. People say in Boston beans do it. Let's do it. Let's fall in love. Romantic sponges, they say, do it. Oysters down in Oyster Bay, do it. Let's do it. Let's fall in love. Cold Cape Cod clams against their wish, do it. Even lazy jellyfish, do it. Let's do it. Let's fall in love. Electric eels, I might add, do it. Though it shocks 'em, I know. Why ask if shall do it? Waiter, bring me shad roe in shallow shoals. English souls, do it. Goldfish in the privacy of bowls, do it. Let's do it. Let's fall in love. Let's fall in love. Let's.
There we go. Eartha Kitt at her very best. I was just reading a little bit about her. I was wondering if she had any French in her. And I was wondering if she had Creole blood. But no, she's got African descent and Cherokee.
Yeah, interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. So, yeah.
But she sings French.
Yes, she just sings it perfectly. She does. Yeah, she's got the vernacular. But her original name was Eartha Mae Keith. Was her name.
Oh, that's not too different.
No, and so yeah. Anyhow, she had some difficulties because what's I say? Eartha's mother, Anne Mae Keith, later Annie Mae Riley, soon went to live with a black man who refused to accept Eartha because of her relative pale complexion. My God, these are terrible stories.
Horrible.
She was raised by.
Finding them.
I know, God, after the death. She became really involved with civil rights for a very long time.
Did she?
She was really outspoken, and she was also outspoken against American involvement in various wars in the 70s, 60s and 70s.
Vietnam, etc.
Yeah, exactly. And she got she was very much an activist, and she was blacklisted, got into big strife. So, yeah, anyhow, that's the way it happened for her. And then she became really an advocate for LGBT rights and things, and later on. And she died just, gosh, I thought it was recently she died. It was 2008. But she lived to the age of 82.
Oh, well, that's not too bad.
Yeah, and she had a resurgence after, the bans were lifted.
Yeah, sure.
And then she got back into it and did many performances in the late 70s, early 80s. So there we go. In her late 70s.
Yeah.
But, yeah, here we go. Orson Welles once called her the most exciting woman in the world.
Well, it's a big call.
It's a big call
But
from
I'll tell
Orson
you what,
Welles.
if you had to pick one,
I reckon. I think she'd be up there.
She's up there.
Yes, and she started Catwoman as, there's lots of Catwoman.
That's perfect for her.
Yeah, she had the perfect purr. Yes. Now, there's a track on this record I can't recall, and I'd like to listen to it. I'll see if I can just I'll fade out for a moment and see. It's called The Blues, and I think, if I remember correctly, this is just brilliant. Okay, I think it's on the other side, and let's find it here. Oh, no. Still haven't found it yet. Excuse me. Under the Bridge of the Paris, there's Stuart. Oh, the Blues is the one we just... Oh, it was probably playing while we were talking then. Track 3. All right, I'll play this again. But it's called The Blues, and I just like to hear us sort of embrace that style of music. And we'll just get the needle in the groove, and I think we're ready to go.
Ain't nothing to leave you alone. Ain't nothing you'd want to call your own. Ain't something with sense enough to get up and go. Ain't nothing like nothing I know. The blues don't know. The blues don't know nobody has a friend. Ain't been nowhere where he's welcome back again. Low, ugly, mean but a dark cloud marching time. The blues is a one-way ticket from your love to nowhere. The blues ain't nothing but a dark gray veil ready to wear. Feels most like the blues ain't nothing. The blues ain't.
Have it, the kid. Yeah, sing the blues. That's a real cabaret, expansive item.
That's a showstopper, that one.
Yeah, magnificent.
Now, I was just thinking that fast vibrato that is typical of her is... I'm thinking of people with similar racial makeup.
Yeah.
And my mind turned to K-Star.
Oh, how interesting. Yes, K-Star has got a very penetrating, fastly modulated vibrato, doesn't she?
She does.
Yes.
And there's another folk singer, or there's a folk singer called Buffy St. Marie.
Buffy St. Marie. Oh, I haven't heard of Buffy
Yes,
St. Marie.
She was well known for a song she wrote called The Universal Soldier.
Okay.
Not sure. I love it, but I don't know. Perhaps it's a sort of a pacifist anthem.
Oh, okay. All right. So Buffy St. Marie, and also K-Star. Yes, I can sort of associate that with K-Star. What was K-Star's? I mean, we played lots of K-Star, but what was that big hit that she had that was really sort of sassy?
The Wheel of Fortune, maybe?
Might be the Wheel of Fortune, yeah. I'm going to look these up. Wheel of Fortune.
If you want to play Buffy, I think she wrote a song called The Circle Game.
The Circle Game? Okay, we'll do a bit of an investigation.
Something about a circle anyway.
Yeah, okay. Well, we've got a few cue points.
She's very good. I've got some recordings of her.
Certainly. All right. Well, maybe we'll we'll have a listen to some of these. And but while I'm doing my investigation, we can hear one more of Eartha Kitt's recordings. This is one that Mr. Fleming brought to my attention earlier on, and it's another one of her wicked offerings. It's If I Were a Boy.
If I was a boy, I'd know the things a girl shouldn't know. I'd go where girls shouldn't go, so oats a girl shouldn't sow. If I was a boy, I'd have come of age a long time ago. It would be a joy if I was a boy. If I was a boy, I'd do so much a girl can explain. I'd pack and catch me a train, go out and raise me some cane. If I was a boy, there'd be some use in having a brain. It would be a joy just to be a boy. There is such a lot a girl has gotta cope with. There are times I think I'm busting at the seams, but as long as I have something left to hope with, I'd still have my dreams. If I was a boy, I'd have no wings like girls seem to sprout, learn things that girls seem to doubt, spread my activities out. If I was a boy, I'd know what all the shouting's about. It would be a joy just to be a boy. Such a lot a girl has gotta cope with. There are times I think I'm busting at the seams, but as long as I have something left to hope with, I'd still have my dreams. If I was a boy, I'd have no wings like girls seem to sprout, learn things that girls seem to doubt, spread my small activities out. If I was a boy, I'd know what all the shouting's about. It would be a joy just to be a boy. Doggone it, if I was only a boy, the things I wouldn't do. I'd take a trip to Shy and see all.
Oh, I wanted to keep hearing about the things she'd do. She was giving us the rundown there.
What a great song.
Isn't that marvellous?
If I were a boy, there'd be some use in having a brain.
Oh,
How powerful.
incredibly powerful. Yes, Eartha Kitt. Yes, certainly with a message. Yeah, all right. Well, we've dialed up those other songs, which is good, and we'll sort of follow on because it's, acknowledging the Cherokee history and the vibrato style and just sort of some stylistic elements. And K-Star, of course, also had a American Indian background. So, and we'll just hear one of her tracks here, her big hit from 1952, "The Wheel of Fortune." It's
Got that
cute.
same heavy vibrato.
Yeah, look forward to indulging.
Fast.
Yeah, for sure.
The wheel of fortune goes spinning around. Will the arrow point fortune or even fame, while the wheel is turning, 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 I'll be yearning, yearning. Oh, love's precious flame, oh, wheel of fortune, I'm hoping somehow, if you ever smile on me, please let it be now.
K-Star in full flight. Her big hit, Wheel of Fortune. Yes, same vibrato, the nanny goat vibrato. It's wonderful. Yes, she's got that same sort of modulation. It's interesting. Very big voice, huge voice. Yeah. And we've done some great programs on K-Star, and that was a big discovery for me during lockdown. I really didn't know anything about her until you brought her to my attention. We serendipitously found a handful of her 78s, and it sort of was a really excellent sort of new discovery, new adventure. So, yeah. Oh, I like K-Star. She was great, and she was singing right up until fairly recently. And
she was. It was lovely to hear that.
Yeah, some of her late recordings, including, and also some of her jazz recordings made in the 50s and 40s too were really interesting.
I know.
Yay. So we have now Buffy St. Marie, and I don't know anything about her, and we've got queued up.
She's a West American Indian woman.
Yeah, folky or...
Yeah, folky.
Okay, great. Well, we've got a track queued up called The Circle Game, which I presume is the one you...
Yeah, she wrote this.
Okay, sure. All right.
People want to hear her political views. They just look up the Universal Soldier.
Okay, yes, it's all online for sure. All right, let's have a listen to Buffy and Test Missions on 160.
Yesterday a child came up to wander, caught a dragonfly inside a jar. Fearful when the sky was full of thunder, and tearful at the falling of a star.
Yeah, what a fresh voice. And great discovery. I'll look out for more of her recordings, Buffy Marie. Thanks for that, Frank. That was great. Excellent. Nice to hear some of that style of singing. Of course, Judith Durham also had a very fast vibrato.
She did. Just finishing on Buffy, she actually sounds a lot better than that. That was a pretty frenetic sort of...
Right.
And it's better hearing her sing it just with guitar.
Okay.
I think she wrote it. But do try the Universal Soldier and see what you think.
Okay, yep.
But not necessarily play it on air.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll refer that one. Yes, definitely. And,
It's a very interesting, thought-provoking lyric.
Yeah, presumably written during the Vietnam War, I suppose.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
And she wrote a lot of others. I've got 3 CDs of her.
Oh, wow. Fantastic.
I'm quite taken with her.
Yeah.
But again, that fast, powerful vibrato.
Yeah, I know. It's the way to modulate the voice and sustain. And, it's very much a characteristic. You don't hear it so much in opera singers tend to have a much slower vibrato.
Oh, much slower, yeah. Well, I think you've got it. And Indian women do it.
Yes.
Or Indians do it.
Yes, they do. They have a sort of a huge sort of, it's a big expressive part of their palette, really.
Very much.
The speed of their vibrato.
Look, I've got to go, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. That's fine. Well, it's going to play some Edith Piaf, so I'll play...
you picked up on the thing beautifully.
Yes, that's right. I thought, we were talking about that sort of fast, incisive vibrato, and we'll hear some Edith. So, but look, all understood, Frank. No worries. You have a great evening, and should be back... Oh, no, wait a minute. Next Friday, next weekend...
I think you were saying not...
Yeah, we're not going to be around. We're going to Inverloch next week.
Yes.
So, next Friday, so there'll be no missions. No missions Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're out. We're out and about.
It's a fortnight.
It's a fortnight till we're back on board.
You better wish me a happy birthday for next Friday.
I will. I haven't even got my cello to play happy birthday for you.
Thank you.
Many haps for next week. I'll do it in retrospect.
Yes, that'll be lovely.
I will. And have a great couple of weeks. And thanks, Frank.
Thank you, and you too.
Yeah.
And to the listener, keep well, listener.
Yes.
And stay out of trouble.
Indeed. Very good advice. Thank you, Frank. All the best, and we'll look forward to catching up, and have a great day next
Likewise,
Friday.
Steve, and the best of family as well.
Yeah, cheers. Thank you for that.
Yes.
All right.
vk3sl is clear.
Okay, thank you again. And we'll continue now with some Edith Piaf. Now, here's one of her big songs, the La Foule, which I think means the crowd. So we've queued it up almost, and we're right to go. Here we go, Edith Piaf.
La ville en fête et en délire, suffoquant sous le soleil et sous la joie. Et j'entends dans la musique les cris, les rires qui éclatent et rebondissent autour de moi. Et perdu parmi ces gens qui me bousculent, étourdi, désemparé, je reste là. Quand soudain je me retourne, il se recule, et la foule vient me jeter entre ses bras. Emportés par la foule qui nous traîne, nous entraîne, écrasés l'un contre l'autre, nous ne formons qu'un seul corps. Et le flot sans effort nous pousse enchaîner l'un et l'autre, et nous laisse tous deux épanouis, enivrés et heureux. Entraînés par la foule qui s'élance et qui danse une folle farandole, nos deux mains restent soudées. Et parfois soulevés, nos deux corps enlacés s'envolent et retombent tous deux épanouis, enivrés et heureux. Et la joie qu'elle a poussée par son sourire me transperce et rejaillit au fond de moi. Mais soudain, je pousse un cri parmi les rires quand la foule vient l'arracher d'entre mes bras. Emportés par la foule qui nous traîne, nous entraîne, nous éloigne l'un de l'autre, je lutte et je me débat. Mais le son de ma voix s'étouffe dans le rire des autres, et je crie de douleur, de fureur et de rage, et je pleure. et traîné par la foule qui s'élance et qui danse une folle farandole. Je suis emporté au loin et je crispe mes poings maudissant la foule qui me vole l'homme qu'elle m'avait donné que je n'ai jamais retrouvé.
Edith Piaf, La Foule, the crowd. And yes, we're sort of looking at musical expression through vibrato. And there we have it. Well, I can play another Edith Piaf track. Here we go. Here is one of her very big hits.
Non, rien de rien. Non, je ne regrette rien. Ni le bien qu'on m'a fait, ni le mal, tout ça m'est bien égal. Non, rien de rien. Non, je ne regrette rien. C'est payé, balayé, oublié. Je me fous du passé. Avec mes souvenirs, j'ai allumé le feu. Mes chagrins, mes plaisirs, je n'ai plus besoin de balayer les amours avec leur trémolo, balayer pour toujours. Je repars à zéro. Non, rien de rien. Non, je ne regrette rien. Ni le bien qu'on m'a fait, ni le mal, tout ça m'est bien égal. Non, rien de rien. Non, je ne regrette rien. Car ma vie, car mes joies, aujourd'hui, ça commence avec toi.
Well, that needs no announcement, really. Edith Piaf, a force to be reckoned with. And we'll continue now with more nostalgia test missions. In fact, I should just mention that we are testing on 160 and on UHF, also streaming online. There's a YouTube stream of these test missions, and a log of past programs can be found via my call sign on YouTube. There's also a blog page, vk3sl.blogspot.com. It's .blogspot, not at blogspot. It's dot. So you don't make that error. I've made it many times. And a little bit of information about the station, including an email contact if you do wish to make contact. So I do appreciate very much the listenership, people tuning in and getting involved or finding some connection with our serendipitous nostalgic journeys. Been trying out cartridges quite a bit lately. Yesterday we wind up an old ACOS cartridge, an ex-broadcast cartridge which was in the collection here, which I hadn't used, and it seems to have come up really well. I made some adjustments to it today, and I'm going to give it another Guernsey now. And the recording is, what is it? I'm going to lean over and have a look. Chicago Style, with Bing Crosby and Bob Hope. And if I remember correctly, it's from the film Road to Bali, one of the many road movies that Crosby and Hope made in the late 1930s, early 40s. So, on a Columbia 78, on an old Bayer turntable, we'll just get the clutch into action. There we go. It's very industrial, this whole thing. Or should I say agricultural? You know what I mean.
You ready for this? Who's that coming down the thoroughfare? The sunshine flashing on his ring, bowing left and right and here and there. That's Chester, the trombone king. He gets his shirt straight from Paris, cigarettes from the Nile. He talks like an eyebrow, but he plays Chicago style. He gets his shoes made in London and a real crocodile, but he plays trombone Chicago style, and he sometimes plays sweet. But sweet or hot, he's always got that real gut bucket beat. He got a neat Latin mustache, and the girls love his smile. But he plays trombone Chicago style, a trombone made in Munich, played in Chicago style. Chicago style. Chicago style. He gets his neckties from Naples and his socks from Argyle. Speaks Oxford English, but he plays Chicago style. Wears a stick pin from Rio, are you listening? You can see it for a mile. But he plays trombone Chicago style, and he sometimes plays sweet. Uncle Jake's weary blues, but sweet or high, he's always got that real gut bucket beat. He likes New York for the opera and gets two on the eye, but he plays trombone Chicago style, a trombone made in Munich, played in Chicago style. Yes, sir. Hey, hey. A trombone played Chicago style.
Bing Crosby and Bob Hope from the film Road to Bali. And Chicago Style. It's a great record. I use that as a test record today while trying out systems. So we'll play another. I enjoy using this Bayer table, something like a 16-inch table. As I slap the shellac on. This one is Charles Kammer and the Mona Hawaiians with vocal refrain. And I like the title, My Hoopy Hoodle Hula Girl. So, you know, we've got a sultry evening. And we could probably stretch things a bit and say that it might be vaguely Hawaiian, maybe.
All of the time is tropical time where they do that funny, funny dance. Well, I fell in love with the chocolate dove while doing this funny hula dance. Now this poor little kid, she never did a bit of loving before. So I made up my mind, I struck it fine, she is the only girl that I adore. So I love pretty little Hopper Holly, hula girl, she's a dandy kid to wiggle. My hula girl can surely make you giggle. This hula girl with that naughty little wiggle. Now someday you're going to make this Hopper Holly girlie mine. girl, she's a dandy kid to wiggle. Hula girl, she'll surely make you giggle. Hula girl with a naughty little giggle. Someday I'm going to try to make a hula. Girlie of mine. So all of the time I'm dreaming of her, the hop-howdy hula girl.
Hawaiian music from the 1930s there on an HMV 78. This is vk3sl and we're testing on the 60. Whoops, ouch, that didn't work too well. I can't touch the tone arm with the fader up. There we go, another point of acknowledgement there with systems. What's the other side? Hawaiian Hotel March. Charles Kammer and his Mona Hawaiians. Well, we're sort of broken the ice with this, so why not play side B? In the groove, I'm vk3sl. Music and of the original shellac with an Akos cartridge. I'm vk3sl and we're testing and we're sort of looking at options, and here we have an Eagle phone recorded in Italy in 1927 by all accounts. It's a one-step. It's the Continental Dance Orchestra and refrain Giuseppe Kruzma. This looks really interesting. It's online, but I'm going to play it because I like exotic European offerings. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to change back to the Autophon cart, and then we'll have a playlist of the kit to wind out, because this will be our last official offering for this evening. So here we go. Eagle phone, an unusual label, Italian label, perhaps. And the name of the track is Lolita.
l'amore tutta la vita, Lolita, tutto si può scordare vicino a te, Lolita, per tuo pupilla sono una calamita, Lolita, che tutti i cuori attira con forza a te.
Okay, there we go. That was an Eagle Phone record. Very unusual label, and courtesy of an online resource. One of many that I check out regularly to source unusual recordings to complement the program here. Well, folks, we've come to the top of the clock. Almost. No, not quite. But it's time for me to wind up officially, but I can keep going for a bit unofficially with some more Eartha Kitt until about 7 at least. And we'll be back again in 2 weeks, not next week. No missions next week at all. Give people a rest. Give the airwaves a chance to sort of recover from this madness. And we'll look forward to your company in 2 weeks' time, where we'll hopefully resume operations. That's the plan. So, yeah, I'm away next weekend, hopefully having some well-needed R&R. Okay, so what do we have to write out? We have side B of that recording of Eartha Kitt. What's the name of the album? It's That Bad Eartha, I think it's called. Yes, That Bad Eartha. Eartha Kitt Sings, orchestra directed by Henry Reen. This is a 10-inch RCA LP that came out in the early 60s, late 50s, probably 50s actually. And yeah, just a few of her hits. I won't go through them, but I will let this go for about another 15, 20 minutes. We'll just hear one side, I think. So thanks, folks, for tuning in, and I appreciate your listening ears. And we look forward to your indulgence later on. I'm vk3sl, and we've been testing here on 160 and on UHF. Let's have a listen to Eartha Kitt.
Oh, the pipes are playing and it's Sandy's tune. All the kilts are swaying and it's Sandy's tune. Down the glen it's ringing neath the bonny moon. For they're heel and flinging it to Sandy's tune. Whether you're MacDonald from the Isle of Skye, Macintosh, MacGregor or the Clan Mackay, is your name MacDougall, is your name Cahoon? How your kilt will waggle when it's Sandy's tune. Sandy wrote it for a lass one day, played it to her on his bagpipes gay. She said aye to Sandy right away.
We'd had a loving lilt,
Gave a kick to a kiss in a kilt.
aye!
Every sprig o' heather knows it's Sandy's tune. Folks forget the weather now to Sandy's tune when they get together at the Brig o' Doon.
Oh,
Aye, it's Sandy's tune.
For they're heel and flinging it to Sandy's tune. Oh, your kilt will waggle when it's Sandy's tune.
Sandy wrote it for a lass one day, played it to her on his bagpipes gay. She said aye to Sandy right away.
It had a loving lilt,
Gave a kick to a kiss in a kilt.
aye!
Every sprig o' heather knows it's Sandy's tune. Folks forget the weather now to Sandy's tune when they get together at the Brigadoon.
Is it MacDonald's tune?
Is it McPherson's tune?
Is it Mackenzie's tune? Oh, nay!
It's Sandy's Senorita, sigh when you walk by, senor. What's more, senor, I believe you know just what they're sighing for, senor, senor. When you meet the senorita you adore, will you sing beneath her balcony a lovely Latin melody? And if she says, "Cece, will you encore?" Or will you just pack up your guitar and stay the bachelor that you are and get yourself a new amor, senor? Essa depois do que a sucediu, com franqueza sem nenhum tendo coração, acertando de acau, doce tá mandando de
Senor.
First time I ever fell for this Latin routine.
Senor.
Not bad at all. Senorita, sigh when you walk by, senor.
Senor.
Darn clever, these Spaniards.
Senor.
They certainly discovered a lot more than America. I believe you know just what they're sighing for, senor, senor. When you meet the senorita you adore, will you sing beneath her balcony a lovely Latin melody? And if she says, "Cece, will you encore?" Or will you just pack up your guitar and stay the bachelor that you are and get yourself a new amor, senor? Senor. They asked me how I knew my true love was true. I, of course, replied, something here inside cannot be denied. They said someday you'll find all who love are blind. When your heart's on fire, you must realize smoke gets in your eyes. So I chaffed them and I gaily laughed to think they could doubt my love. Yet today my love has flown away. I am without my love. Now laughing friends deride tears I cannot hide. So I smile and say, who a lovely flame dies, smoke gets in your eyes. So I chaffed them and I gaily laughed to think they could doubt my love. Yet today my love has flown away. I am without my love. Now laughing friends deride, tears I cannot hide. So I smile and say, when a lovely flame dies, smoke gets in your Salangadu, Salangadu, Salangadu,
Salangadu,
Salangadu,
Salangadu,
Salangadu,
Salangadu,
Salangadu,
Salangadu, Salangadu.
All night long I looked for you, all night through the darkness, crying, crying, Salangadu,
Salangadu, Salangadu,
Salangadu,
Salangadu,
Salangadu,
Salangadu,
Salangadu,
Salangadu, Salangadu.
all along the dark bayou, crying for my darling, crying, Salangadu,
Salangadu.
Salangadu, 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 Salangadu. All night long I looked for you, all night through the darkness, crying, crying, Salangadu,
Salangadu, Salangadu,
Salangadu,
Salangadu, Salangadu,
Salangadu,
Salangadu, Salangadu,
Salangadu,
Salangadu, Salangadu.
all along the dark bayou, crying for my darling, crying, Salangadu,
Salangadu, Salangadu.
Salangadu.
Okay, that finished earlier than I thought. I will flip the disc. I think we can't have enough of Eartha Kitt. So we're trialling out an old PMG Autophon Type A cartridge here. Test missions, of course, that's the name of the game. We're testing equipments and playing 1950s or 60s recordings. It's a part of the plan. Okay, well here's side B. We have heard a number of these tracks earlier on, but why not? I'm vk3sl. Testing.
So les ponts de Paris, lorsque descend la nuit, toutes sortes de gueux se foulevillent en cachette et sont heureux de trouver une cochette, hôtel du Curandeur, où l'on ne paye pas cher. Le peu fin et l'eau, c'est pour rien, mon marquis, sous les ponts de Paris, sur les ponts de Paris. Quel rendez-vous! My darling, why I sing this song is easy to explain. It tells what happens all along the bridges of the Seine. The vagabonds go there at night to sleep all their troubles away. But when the moon is shining bright, my heart wants to sing it this way. How would you like to be down by the Seine with me? Oh, what I'd give for a moment or two under the bridges of Paris with you. Darling, I'd hold you tight, far from the eyes of night. Under the bridges of Paris with you, I'd make your dreams come true. Chérie, je veux apporter mes bras. Je veux apporter mon cœur. Je veux apporter all my love. Sur les ponts de Paris, lorsque descend la nuit, under the bridges of Paris with you, I'd make your dreams come true. I'd make your dreams come true. Birds do it, bees do it, even educated fleas do it. Let's do it, let's fall in love. In Spain the best upper sets do it, Lithuanians, and let's do it. Let's do it, let's fall in love. The Dutch in old Amsterdam do it, not to mention the Finns. Folks in Siam do it. Think of Siamese twins, some Argentines without means do it. People say in Boston beans do it. Let's do it, let's fall in love. Romantic sponges, they say, do it. Oysters down in Oyster Bay do it. Let's do it, let's fall in love. Cold Cape Cod clams against their wish do it. Even lazy jellyfish do it. Let's do it, let's fall in love. Electric eels, I might add, do it, though it shocks 'em, I know. Why ask if shall do it? Waiter, bring me shad roe in shallow shoals, English souls do it. Goldfish in the privacy of bowls do it. Let's do it. Let's fall in love. Let's fall in love. Let's. The blues. The blues ain't nothing. The blues ain't nothing but a cold gray day, and all night long it stays that way. Ain't nothing to leave you alone. Ain't nothing you'd wanna call your own. Ain't something with sense enough to get up and go. Ain't nothing like nothing I know. The blues don't know. The blues don't know nobody has a friend. Ain't been nowhere where he's welcome back again. Low, ugly, mean The blues ain't nothing that you'd sing and rhyme. The blues ain't nothing but a dark cloud marching time. The blues is the one-way ticket from your love to nowhere. The blues ain't nothing but a dark gray veil ready to wear. Feels most like dying. The blues ain't nothing. The blues ain't. I used to fall in love with all those boys who maul the young cuties. But now I find I'm more inclined to keep my mind on my duties while tearing off a game of golf. I may make a play for the caddy, but when I do, I don't follow through, 'cause my heart belongs to Daddy. If I invite a boy some night to dine on my fine Finn and Hattie, I just adore his asking for more, but my heart belongs to Daddy. Yes, my heart belongs to Daddy, so I simply couldn't be bad. Yes, my heart belongs to Daddy. Da 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 da. So I want to warn you, laddie, though I know you're perfectly swell, that my heart belongs to Daddy, 'cause my daddy, he treats it so well. There was a dame that a football game made long for the strong undergraddy. I never dream of making the team, 'cause my heart belongs to Daddy. Yes, my heart belongs to Daddy, so I simply couldn't be bad. Yes, my heart belongs to Daddy. Da 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 da. So I want to warn you, laddie, though I know you're perfectly swell, that my heart belongs to Daddy, 'cause my daddy, he treats it so well, so well.
And that's it, folks. Thank you for listening. I'm vk3sl. We've been testing on 160 and on UHF and also streaming online. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time. No missions next weekend at all. And, back on board the following week. Have a great couple of weeks, folks. And thanks again for tuning in. I'm vk3sl. Cheers.